inside the home. Come, Belial, come. Come, Belial, come.
What's up, everybody? We're going to go ahead and get started. We'll get Byron up in here as well. So let me go ahead and get Belial over in his spot here. Just 1 moment. 1 moment. Everybody say hi to Belial here. The main man here tonight, baby. Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you, brother. Hell yeah. Love you, man. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's right. Don't worry. Get up in here. Get up in here, yo. What's up? Hey. Wow. All right, Byron. We're going to get you up in here, brah. Let me get everything straight. Whoa. He's going to come back in here in a second, and I'll let him in. What's up? Hail to all of you, too. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate it. I'm looking a little wild today. It's been a crazy fucking day. Byron's going to ring back in here in a second, I'm sure, and then I'm going to admit him. So I'm sorry, brother. I had to do all that other things first. We had to get Belial up in here first, you know? Like, I can feel his energy like crazy. It's fucking cool. Woo! Okay, hold on. There we go. Here he is. Booyah! What's up, dude? Hey.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much. Good to see you. Good to see you, Byron. This is Lord Byron. Everybody knows Lord Byron. And I wanted to say hi to everybody in the chat really quickly before we get started. Thanks for being here, brother.
Yeah, it's good to be here, man.
Hell yeah. Hey, Rodrigo and Perderabo and Aaron. What's up, Aaron? And the Altar of Darkness. What's up, dude? Jay the Sage. And Dan Best. What's up, brah? And Morgan and Jason Brophy and Emily. Hell yeah. And Grace. Hey, Grace. And John Usher. What's up, my brah? Good to see you, man. And the uncanny Mr. Crow. Hello, my friend. And Bash, yo, what's up, Milky Jones? Hey, oh, you just up yesterday? Welcome to the Soul Family, dude. All right, so we're here. Everybody's here. There'll be some more people joining us, I'm sure. So what have you been up to, man?
Not much, man. Just hanging out, making machines, you know.
I wanted to talk to you about that tonight because that's something that I haven't really delved into yet, but like everybody talks about how amazing they are. One of my friends, Connor, that is usually in here, he just got one recently and he's been working with it for like, he said like for like a week. And he's like, dude, he's like, I look 10 years younger, like already. And I was like, whoa, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh, the big plate potentizer that I made that just for like programming large items or piles of stuff. But yeah, like if you can program your lotion, for healing. So kind of
Yeah.
get some of that rejuvenating quality, everything. You can program anything with it. And out here in the desert, I live in the desert now. I'll tell you, dude, if you don't drink enough water and put lotion on before you go to bed, and when you wake up, you'll just like wake up with like new wrinkles. It's so dry out
Oh,
here.
dude, I believe it, man. When I wasn't drinking water, I was literally like peeling like a snake, like my whole face, like everywhere. And I was like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on here? And it was, it was mainly dehydration and me just not taking care of myself, like, period. But it was really getting kind of funky and weird. But like I really want to I want to get into using these boxes because I know that that is something that like from when I researched, I mean like even the government's been using these things for a long freaking time. And
Oh yeah.
they know what's up with these things. And so that would tell me if like the elites are using these things, of course, like they do magic. I mean, that they work. And I know that from what you're doing and what JS and L's doing, I mean, I've been over to JS's house and seen his whole crazy freaking variety array of all these different boxes. And, like I wasn't feeling good over there. And he's like, give me some hair. He just like fucking cut my hair off. He just came up to me and was like, then you like put that shit on there, and he's like, "You're gonna feel better in about 30 minutes." And like I did, I started fucking feeling a lot better, man. I was like, "Damn, like holy shit, okay."
It's a slippery slope. You start off with like one or two of them, and then like a year later, you look like a crazy person.
Yeah, I saw EA
you
set up
know?
over at his house, and I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "I didn't know you were into this like that, dude." And he let me play around with it and shit, and I could feel the energy in it. As I was like tuning the dials, I could feel like a churning in my solar plexus or something. Like I
Yeah.
could feel it like kind of like a tornado was happening like in my stomach, and I was just like, oh, oh, oh. And like as I fucking tweaked them, I was like, damn, I could feel the connection within myself, like connected to it like immediately.
Yeah. And you know, uh, being a professional magician and you know, dealing with a black magic community, it's good to have some protection that's strong enough. That's kind of a set it and forget it. It doesn't take too much of your time,
Yep.
because I mean, people just throw curses around like nothing, and
Oh, no
yeah,
doubt.
so it's good to have. Like the vampire box right now is probably my favorite machine for protection. Because when you get good at making the thought forms, like the Chucky style thought forms, I'm probably gonna mix up a few videos on it. I think that works the best for protection.
So
But
you're
like a
making like
hunter killer
like like
system
thought
too.
for servitors to like protect your house and protect everything.
It's like an automatic drawing technique. I don't know where Chucky got it or if he just came up with it on his own, but you just like let's say you got some incoming magic attack, you just visualize, or like let's not even say, let's just say you want to set something up for protection, right? So
Hmm.
you just and for us, we can empower it by actually doing a full evocation and working with the entity first. But like just say like summon Belial and have Belial help you make the thought form and just visualize Belial or an army of demons protecting you, and then just start scribbling on a piece of paper, and then you'll just feel like an automatic stop. And then so now you have like Belial and a bunch of demons protecting you, and then you just dial your rate with that. And with the
So you like
vampire
take
box,
that.
that works.
I'm sorry. You take
Oh,
that
that's
paper
right.
and put it on the plate.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But that thought form, that style of automatic drawing thought forms, that's it's probably the most effective technique I found so far. You know, and I tried it a few years ago and I didn't like it, but just recently I realized how it's pretty much the best technique I found so far. You know, and then servitors too, man. Like if you use servitors with radionics, my hunter killer system is with servitors. I made servitors for that, a hunter's servitor and a killer servitor, and then I used radionics and I spliced those spirits. Uh, so the killer one I spliced with like Belial, Bael, Vine, Paimon, Glacial Ebolas, Larahe, you know, Raum, yeah, all the killers, you know.
God,
And
he had a whole mob.
yeah, so I spliced it with some of their attributes, and then my hunter, I spliced it with all the spirits that can see into the past, present, and future, and all the ones that all the intel spirits, you know, like your mercurial style spirits. And well, yeah, it works great. And the thing I like about the servitors, first of all, a lot of people don't even know you can splice a servitor.
I've never even considered that. Really, yeah.
Yeah. So, because someone's actually asking, what do you mean splice,
Okay,
Morgan?
cool.
Okay, so
And
you
thanks,
can.
James, for the super chat. By the way, thank you, brother.
Uh, so let's say, and you can do this with like jewelry or if you're making a program. But let's just say with a servitor, I got one right here. Uh, you can splice attributes from other spirits or other entities. I mean, even animals and people into the servitor, and you don't even have to splice all of the attributes. You can just, let's say you have a servitor for prosperity. You can just like splice all the attributes that Belial has for prosperity and transfer it over, and it takes like a couple of weeks and to splice. And so I usually splice like 2 or 3 spirits at a time. I don't like doing any more than that because it takes, you know, like 2 or 3 weeks to really splice the attribute to where it's in the servitor permanently. But it's a really potent technique because I mean you could even, you know, like make a servitor to help teach you magic and then splice it with all of the with the knowledge of you know, like magicians in the past, you know, like you could splice it with like Crowley, Rigardi, Grant, you know, Austin
Yeah.
Osman Fair, you know, Franz Barden, uh, uh, Marie Laveau, you know. You can splice it with whatever. And with someone like Maria Laveau, because some people don't even aren't even sure that she was a practitioner, like everyone says she is, and it's like this common thing that everyone knows, but there's not a lot of evidence that she was. I mean, it's not like she was like on YouTube making videos about it, you know,
Yeah.
150 years ago. So, but so even let's say hypothetically she was not a practitioner, just the thought form and everyone working with her and the persona of her being a skilled practitioner, you can still splice those attributes, you know. So it's kind of fascinating, you know. But you know, with servitors, you still have to be psychic enough to receive the messages or receive the intel to make the servitor, you know.
And
But
so
the
I
thing
guess if you, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
but the thing I like about using servitors, like with the hunter killer system, like not everyone uh, can drop that amount of money, you know, 3 machines. And I even have a cheap hunter killer system just for that.
Yeah, people are asking about prices. If you can
Yeah.
elaborate on those too.
Yeah, we can get that a little bit. Uh, but the thing I like about using servitors for like the hunter killer system or whatever is you can repurpose the machines and you still have the protection or that attribute.
Mm.
So if you need to use that machine for something else later on, you can do it and you're still protected. And then another thing is the servitors kind of have a little bit like an IQ to them, you know? So they kind of give the machine a little bit more freedom and flexibility, but at the same time, the machines will empower the servitor and keep them focused and basically on steroids.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I had a pretty remarkable story from back in like 2017, I guess it was, and JS used this. I actually got bitten and scratched by a cat really badly, and I ended up getting sepsis, and I was in the hospital for like 5 days, and my girlfriend at the time was over there at his house because we had had like a disagreement, and we were getting along. And usually when that would happen, I would call JS and I'd be like, help me out, brother. And he would come and pick her up and take her to his house for like a month or whatever it would take and shit. And so while she was gone, I got attacked by this cat and it like almost killed me, man. Like it was really crazy. Like he talked me into going to the hospital. I showed him what my hand was looking like, and I had like black streaks going up my arm towards my armpit. And I felt good though. I was gonna just lay there and go to sleep and just whatever. And he was like, no, you got to go now. And like, we got one of my employees to take me. He's one of my friends actually to take me. And they told me if I would have waited one more day, I would have been dead. And the hospital was talking to them, and they were like, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen to him yet. And he's not responding to the intravenous antibiotics and all of this. And he had my fingernails there. I had left them there before, just in case. It was really weird. And he put those on the fucking machine. And like the next day, I had a fucking like total turnaround. Like really, it was freaking nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like he told me later what they had done, and I was like, holy shit, because I didn't even know what was going on at the time. I wasn't even conscious.
Yeah, and then nuts that
Yeah.
a crazy cat scratch can do that kind of damage.
Oh yeah, any cat can do it. Like any common house cat. This was a cat that we had adopted, but it was really psycho. And I was down on the floor doing some artwork, and I don't know what the hell came over it. If it was possessed or somebody threw a curse at me that it went into that cat, but it was like a wild animal. It was like I was dealing with like a raccoon or some shit. I couldn't get it off of me. It was just tearing me up, dude. Like it was insane. Or I had to open the front door and I just had to fling it. It finally like flew across the air and it hit the truck. And, I didn't want to do that, but I had no choice. It was vicious, man. Like I can't believe the strength of a just a house cat, but it messed me up, man. And I was in there for like 5 days, and they really literally thought I wasn't going to make it. And he did that's the first thing that he did, and it really worked like quickly. Like within 24 hours, I was like conscious, sitting up, talking to the nurses and all of that. And when I talked to him, he was like, dude, like, we thought you were going to fucking die. And we were over here. He's like, I put your fingernails on the box, man. And like, it really did like literally save my fucking life. Like, no, no joke. No exaggeration.
Radionics works super good for healing. And another thing with it too is it frees up your hands. You know what I mean? So you can put, let's say, a hypothetical situation, you can put someone on one or two boxes for healing, and then you can do distance healing on them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to get like an amplification of what you're doing.
Yeah, so like a handful of boxes basically gives a magician basically the firepower of like a small coven.
Yeah,
like
that's a great way to look at it.
If you think of it as like having extra hands on deck, so.
Mm-hmm. How'd you get into this? This is something that you were just interested in. You were like, man, this is like, I'm going to go for it. Or was it something that the spirits inspired, I guess?
Yeah, well, I heard about it a long time ago, like 20 years ago, and maybe even longer, because I remember, like the late 90s, like Scalar was like the big thing on the internet, like, but I heard about it like 20 years ago, didn't think much of it. And of course, I heard about like Royal Raymond Rife and the Rife machine, and that, like, but that's like, such an advanced thing that's going on, like you can't even really wrap your head around it. But it was, I was just, like watching YouTube videos. God, this is probably like 2016, 2017, maybe. And I stumbled on an interview by this guy, Jeff Harvey. And he was like, naval intelligence allegedly, and part of the remote viewing program. It was like in the 70s probably. So he was in like naval intelligence, part of the remote viewing program, at least one of them, because they've had so many, and yeah, the guy was just blowing my mind on the stuff he was talking about. And part of that is just because the radionics community, they kind of use like an electric universe, holographic universe, quantum and tank. They kind of use like scientific terminology, where we're like magicians. So we kind of have like a different understanding of radionics. I kind of feel like they overcomplicate it to make it sound high tech, you know.
So
But
that everybody's just kind of confused and they're like, whoa, that's like beyond what we could ever utilize here with us. Like, it's all
yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, all you're doing is just amplifying a thought form. So you can use a lot of different stuff to amplify it. It's no different than a magician using a wand. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, how does a wand work? It's just a stick.
Yeah, it's just an extension of you, right? And I
Yeah,
guess these
totally.
boxes are like an extension of you in many ways.
Yeah, and then so I looked this guy up, and he died mysteriously. And at first, I thought it might have had something to do. Do you remember like 2014, 15, 16 when all of those natural path doctors were just like dying, and a lot
Yeah,
of them were
yeah.
like murder suicides and like all these crazy things. But it was like I think like two or 300 by the end of it. But like all these like the highest echelon of like holistic doctors were just dropping dead
And
over
it
a course
wasn't
of
like the
years.
ones on that Malaysian flight that just disappeared, weren't they?
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like that
that was
too.
part of that too. Yeah, that was part of the whole
Yeah.
thing too.
Yep.
And so at first, I kind of thought that that's what happened to him because he was like dedicated to healing. He was a naturopath doctor, and now looking back on it, I kind of think someone like one of the bad boys in the radionics community. I think someone killed him. I think like some person in the community targeted him. I don't think that the government targeted him now. And some people think there's one guy in particular that thinks that orgone killed him, that he was using orgone accumulators and that killed him. And I think that's retarded. I don't think so. I think he got attacked by other practitioners.
Just because he was a threat or he had some information that they didn't
Dude,
want
I
to
mean,
release to
well,
the
it's just like the
public
magic
or
community, dude. Like there, when you get, I mean, just look at what the internet did for psychopathy for people. Because now all of a sudden you can say and do whatever you want to someone without the risk of getting backhanded for being a little bitch, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
and
no doubt.
and for a while there, I was just like bringing out the worst in people. I think it's kind of mellowed out a little bit now, but so I think it's just like that. When people get the ability to affect change in their life and other people's lives, and they get good at magic and they get good at radionics, I just, because there's no repercussions unless you target the wrong person that knows how to handle themselves. There's no repercussions for it. So I think there's just something about this level of practical spirituality that just kind of breeds psychopathy.
Mhm. Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, I've seen, a lot of people, and even myself. I mean, I've had moments where I was in full-fledged psychosis, like crazy, several times. I mean, I
Yeah.
experienced it just like 2 months ago, man, and like was thinking I was like done with this, and I'm like, man, I mean, I was in psychosis and then I was being simultaneously brainwashed, and it was just like, what the fuck? Like, I forgot who I was for a minute, man. Like, holy shit. It gets to be really intense. And like, I know, like, what you're saying. I mean, I have to really be very careful in my life now. And I've had a few close calls of people that were trying to hurt me, like physically. And that's something that I never expected would ever be a reality, but it is a reality. And I have to like really watch myself and like kind of move very carefully. And I know that the spirits have me protected, and I know and I realize that. I mean, I've almost died probably at least 8 times in the last 25, 30 years. And somehow, some reason, some way, I'm still here, and I do realize that I've got a bigger purpose, but I'm not going to be a dummy either. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put myself in situations where I could allow someone to access me to a point to where they could get close enough to do something like that.
Yeah, and when it comes, because I mean, protection has to be like number one. When you get, I mean, like there's a lot of practitioners, like you go on TikTok and stuff, and honestly, I'm gonna sound like a dick for even saying this. I don't want to come off as like an elitist or anything like that. I'm definitely not. But dude, like 90% of people in the spiritual community are a complete fucking joke. So there's a lot of people that will throw curses around and they're not really a problem. But some people are more effective. So you have to have solid protection, and you definitely want, like wards and servitors are number one, because servitors are free. You can just make a servitor, some radionics machines. But yeah, I mean, if people just throw curses around for no reason, you got to keep your aura clean. And then, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, just talking about this kind of stuff and tapping into these type of communities, you're going to get tested. Like some people will like some guys will curse you just to test you.
Oh yeah, just to see, just
Yeah.
to like see how, if they are connected and if they're able to get through. And I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, I've been affected by it many times. Like when I stopped taking things seriously, it's almost kind of like too that, the demons that I work with will almost allow it a little bit to an extent to wake me up, to shake the shit out of me, to be like, you're not doing it right, dude. And when you don't do it right and you're not taking care of yourself, we're going to let this energy come through and rock you up a little bit and shake the shit out of you for a minute, JD, and, make you look like a freaking fool and make you drown out your emotions and vices that you thought you had overcome. And, I'm able typically to kind of see the signs fairly quickly and then do something about it. But it's always when I get careless. It's always when I let my guard down. Pretty much every time I let my guard down, something comes in. Yeah, so I know that it's really literally constantly fucking happening.
Yeah, cleaning the aura should be like a daily practice. Cleaning your aura definitely should be a daily practice. But yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. It's not a big deal. Like it's not super hard to protect yourself from magic attacks. Like I feel like a white belt or a blue belt could defend themselves against a black belt pretty easily, as long as it's not like a really persistent attack.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
But you don't have to be super good at magic to protect yourself, but you do have to do it.
Yeah. I think it's you're right. I mean, it's something that needs to be taken very, very seriously, and you have to have a good defense, especially if you're someone that is aggressive and you want to go on the offensive all the time. You've got to have a shield with your sword. Like without a doubt.
Yeah.
And be ready for anything.
Yeah, and servitors are free and they can do a lot. So.
And then too, it's like protecting the people around you too. Because if it's not going to get to me, it's going to get to the weakest link around me, and then they literally will become like the embodiment of my adversary and start coming at me, like physically coming at me. And it's not them. And I realize that after a minute, like, holy shit, like something is possessing you, something's taken over you. And typically it's the energy of whatever that person sent over here affecting that person that didn't protect themselves. And they're going to try to get to me like that. And that's really crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, energy follows the path of least resistance. It's just going to happen. And, you mentioned picking up on the signs. What are some of the signs that you notice right away? Like, what are some of the early signs for you?
For me, like it's confusion and anxiety, mainly confusion and anxiety, which will lead me to wanting to go to my drug of choice, alcohol, whatever it is, basically once I start getting that fear and that anxiety, like paranoia, then it like pushes me to like lowering my defenses even more by opening myself up with substances. So then I'm just like wide the fuck open, just like they wanted. And it has a way of it's very powerful, yet it's subtle because it has an effect on your mentality and too. It's affecting your emotions, it's affecting everything, it's causing confusion, and it's kind of like it makes it, for me anyways, to where it's like it takes me a minute to really realize that like this is not my energy, this is not my choice, this is not something that I would do anymore. but it is something that has like overtaken me, you know, and it's definitely using my weak spots and exploiting them and using them against me, using my own energy and my own weaknesses against me.
Yeah. So you notice it like internally, like right away. That's
Yes.
yeah, that's kind of sketchy too. I mean, that's like it's like that means it's like you're really picking up on it. When I worked at the bar, you know, the first thing I would notice before I would see any omens or any effects, the first thing I would notice because it was such a social job, the way people would interact differently with me. Like I would see it with like just the way people looked at me and interacted with me. Th- that became that like the really early like you know like I would see that before I'd even see omens. You know.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, and that's so weird because it's like you see that like spiritual presence that's kind of like eyeballing you, like,
Yeah,
ha.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
like I know
you know
people
because
that get like
like a
rashes
social
and shit. They'll have like skin breakouts and rashes and stuff like in weird places and like where they don't get them normally, and it's like, ooh, what's going on there? Like, holy shit.
yeah. And you know, because when you work with people and you're around like a place with like a lot of regulars like that, really social job, you know how people act all the time, and then as soon as they're all of a sudden acting differently to you, and you can just see it right in their eyes. You know that to
Hmm.
me that became the early sign. But then after that, omens, like I would just see it popping up. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And like, I would notice, like not all, I mean, not every time that I see crows or ravens is it a sign for me. I mean, usually it would be a sign for me that like it's Azazel there. He's very connected to me with crows. But if I see like a bunch of, usually it'll just be one. If I see a bunch, then I know that like, or either vultures or something like that. It's almost like they can smell like the death energy that's like shrouding my aura or all around me, and they're like coming around, being like, "Ooh!" And I look out there and I see them, and I'm like, "Oh shit! Like, what's going on here?" Like, yeah, it's getting my attention now. Like I'm starting to see what's happening and what's going on. If I'm not feeling it yet, then I will definitely start to see the signs. But for me, like it's typically always oh, and then too, like I'll have just very strange things happen. Like I'll almost have like 3 or 4 cars almost hit me in one day, like in one afternoon. It'll be like one close call after another. And like I will literally go home and not go back out until I have fucking taken care of business because I'm like, yep, I'm not taking the chance. I got through it. I got away with it. I got home in one piece and I know better now. I'm not going back out. And sometimes I will refuse to leave for 2 or 3 days until I'm confident that I've got it taken care of. Might sound a little paranoid, but hey, if you've been through it, you fucking know.
Yeah, it doesn't take too much for an accident to happen.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
driving's dangerous when you put it down. When you really think of
Oh, for real.
you
No
know,
doubt.
like out
It
here,
really is.
people the speed limit's like 80, so people go like 90. And here in
Curving through the
Utah, they
mountains
don't
all
they don't
crazy
drink and
too.
do drugs, huh?
Curving all through those crazy curves in the mountains, going 90 miles an hour and shit.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
people here don't drink and do drugs like normal people do, so they kind of take out their, I guess, toxic masculinity by driving crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
And no
And
one uses their
now you
blinker.
got people that are texting all the time. They're not paying
Oh yeah,
attention. I've been
medicated.
telling everybody, like since this last full moon in Aquarius, I have noticed that there are more and more and more people that are out and about that are just not there and they're not with it. They're not paying
Yeah,
attention and they can hurt you. They can
yeah.
hurt you. Yeah.
Especially the attention span people have now. It's so short. They're probably not even paying attention to the road, and yeah,
Yep. I see them all over the place. I see them all over the place, all over the road. And when you pass them, you see that they're glued into that. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I don't even want to walk down a sidewalk. I definitely wouldn't be riding a bike on the side of the road.
yeah,
I wouldn't even want to pull over on the side of the road without getting 20 feet away from my car because, like, really and truly, no one is paying the fuck attention anymore. And
no,
it is going to really, like, that's a very scary thing, especially if they're being affected by some type of weird spiritual energy on your behalf. Like
yeah.
they literally
So,
could just like haul right into you.
yeah, plus like a Mercury retrograde or a full moon or something where people are
Hmm.
extra crazy. Yeah, totally. Man, working in a bar, it's funny. Yeah, because I would do magic and radionics to help the bar and stuff, and they knew all about it and everything. But with the astrology and stuff, uh, when I would like let people know, like there's a full moon coming up, Mercury's going to be retrograde. People are going, uh, I made everyone a believer. Because it was so accurate. Like every time I told people, like be on guard, like shit would hit the fan and stuff, like with so many people, and so it made like everyone a believer. And with the magic too, like some people, like because they saw me do it all the time, they knew it worked, but they're still almost like, so they would come to ask me for a favor, but they'd almost be like embarrassed to ask. They'd just be like, "Hey, Byron, tell me the story," and they're kind of like hiding their head down a little bit, like like they're just so afraid to ask. And then I'd print out a piece of paper and give them a pen and tell them what to write down their name, and I'll see what I can do, right? And they would just like light up, thank you, thank you. But I got so good at doing that kind of stuff.
I mean, I'm sure too, people like some people, when they know that you have these abilities and you have these gifts, they like literally like don't want to be around you and you like scare them, they don't know what to think about it. They're like, holy shit. Like, especially the ones that have a lot of skeletons in their closet, they're not going to want to get anywhere near you because they know that you have a way of finding out and they know that and they're just like, oh shit, like, I'm not getting around this guy. I might love his energy and I'd want to be around him, but I know that he can see right through me too. And so it's like, ugh.
Yeah, yeah, it's a trip. What's funny too about magic is there are people like these materialists, people that call themselves skeptic, but they're not skeptic about anything. They're only skeptic about new ideas. They've never challenged any of their own beliefs. But they're just people that don't believe in anything. Those materialists, nihilists, scientism guys, and it's so funny because you'd be surprised how many of those guys that pretend like magic is just stupid and superstition, and then when it comes down to it, they're actually afraid of it when they meet someone that knows what's up.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny because they act all hard like it's so stupid, and then you can just totally tell like they're terrified, man. They know that you can fuck them up. There's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like I used to have a weird opinion about even when after I had been in magic for a long time, or not a long time, but a few years, like I was still afraid to go to Satan and like, like just like really like afraid to admit that like I'm working with this current, like afraid to admit it to myself, just because of my conditioning and my programming, I like still couldn't get over it. And it took me like a long fucking time. And I know that like, a lot of people really do subscribe to society's worldview on this, and they definitely buy into it. And they really think that like what we're doing is totally just straight evil, that we don't care about people, that all we want to do is hurt people, and this and that and the other. And I've come to find out after being in it long enough that how precious of a gift this path is, and that
Yeah.
it is all of those lies and all of that bullshit that actually keeps people from having access to this that don't belong in it. They're
Oh,
never going to be able to see it for what it is because they're like being blocked from it.
oh,
So I'm almost kind of glad. I'm glad in a way that exists. And I know that people are that they're going to judge me. They're always going to judge me. They're going to, and the more that I come into my own personal power, I'm going to have more haters. I'm going to have more adversity. I'm going to get more backlash. But at the same time, it's coming from people that will never be able to see the truth of this because they're not being allowed to. And it's really protecting what we have that is so precious. That's why it's there. That's why the truth will never really be fully revealed to the world, because what we have here is for the select few chosen people that are a part of it.
yeah, and magic is one of those things where like I think it's our God-given gift, and it's one of those things where you can't not do it. It's such a part of us, People do it
Yes.
all the time,
Yeah,
like every
I could never walk away from this path. I've tried to so many times, and you know, like when you begin to deny who and what you are, that makes your life so insane. And I just could not imagine you know, this is who I am now. And I
Yeah.
absolutely accepted 1,000,000%. I've lost relationships over it. It's strained my family so freaking bad. But through my continual improvement, continuous improvement in my life and like becoming the man that I am now, I've definitely been able to show them like, look, you know, for the past 15 years I've been doing this and I know you doubted it and I knew you worried about me and I knew that you didn't agree with it and I know that you still don't, but there's one thing that you cannot deny. I have become such a better person and you all love me. You all do love when I'm around, and I know that for them, it probably like tweaks their brain because they're like, what the fuck? How did this happen? Like, he's not supposed to be that. He's supposed to be what we think that he is and what we're trying to make him believe that he is because we all want him to stop doing what he's doing. But at the same time, they can't, they see the proof in the pudding that like, shit, this is good for him. Look at all the fucking changes he's made in his life that he was destroying himself for most of his fucking life. And now look at how he's turned it around. I mean, that's not something that anyone can fucking point their finger at and be like, that's bad and that's evil. How can you?
Yeah, you can save people's lives. How's it evil? It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
exactly.
You know what's so
Exactly.
funny too? Like a lot of the truthers, demonize the occult and everything. And I get it. They see all this symbolism. They see it being used against us. I can understand that. But these same people are totally pro Second Amendment. So how can you be like pro firearm but against magic? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And how can you be against animal sacrifice if you eat meat? You know, the
Oh
same
yeah,
thing.
totally.
You know, I get
And
a
that's
lot of that.
something, when you look at like the modern commercial like meat industry, dude, it's so atrocious the way the animals are
Oh, it's
treated.
barbaric.
I think we should go back to a more spiritual where we're sacrificing the animal and all of that.
I mean, I'll tell you, every time that I've done it, I've probably done it now, probably 25 times, I would say, you know, only with chickens. And I will tell you, it is the craziest thing. And I know that JS will attest to this. I mean, it's happened with me and him, it's happened on my own. Literally, they know what's going on. You know, I always hold them close to me and I comfort them. And I'll like basically kind of like speak like a channel demonic tongue of like comfort into them. And they literally will just lay right on down and literally extend their neck out and they know what's going to happen and they're totally fine with it. They give themselves they're not struggling, they're not fighting. They are just like if something comes over them spiritually where they know that this is going to happen. And like really and truly, if they had any other kind of life, they would be exploited for their eggs every day. They'd be cooped up in a little teeny spot with 100 other chickens, probably having sores on them and having disease and
Yeah.
having to deal with that, you know. And like we're really treating them with the utmost fucking respect. And what we're doing is not anywhere near as what they would go through in a regular
Practically.
life of a normal chicken, a
Yeah.
commercial chicken. It's just not. It's not like you know. But people will, you know, still they're never going to ever really see it, you know, and you know, and that's okay. That's fine. You know, I'm really glad that we, you know, like I've got my issues with this country, of course, but I
Yeah.
am very glad that we have our freedom to practice our spirituality the way we want to, that we can do things like that, that we can, you know, practice left hand path, practical spirituality without it being illegal. You know, like in a lot of countries, it's fucking illegal. And like I've
Oh, they'll
got
kill you in
people,
some countries, man. They'll
yeah,
straight up kill you, punishable by
they
death.
will. Yes,
You know?
absolutely, for sure. And like I'm like, could you imagine having to live like that and like really having to repress and deny who you are? You know, like if we lived in back in the days of like the Inquisition, I mean, having your whole family rounded up, really like watching them be just brutally murdered for what? For your spiritual path? Like what the fuck? By the church? No fucking less. Like, can't
Yeah.
you fucking see? Can't you take a look around? Like who is the real oppressor here? Who is like the real evil? And it's like no one can wake up to that fact. It's like you don't see that you are slaves and that they are literally like running a train on you so badly. It's taken away all your personal free power. It's taken away your sense of like who you are as an individual. They want you to be just like them and be a good little fucking sheep and think that you got to go through that priest, you got to go through that reverend, you got to go through that bishop or that cardinal to access divinity. Like, fuck you, man. Are you
Yeah.
serious? Yeah.
And imagine like what a narcissist psychopath you'd have to be to somehow claim some type of monopoly on the creator and creation. You know,
Yeah, no doubt.
like
No doubt.
you got to be really delusional and out of your mind to just like
Mhm.
think like, yeah, this is mine now.
Yes, like I have been through lots of training to be able to do this, and there's no way that you could access Divinity Child and do anything like that. And I'm going to pretend to be this totally good, religious, pious man, but don't leave your kids alone with me. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? Like like that just makes me sick. Like I converted to Catholicism for my ex-wife because I felt like it was the right thing to do because we started having kids and I was like, she's not going to bend on this. This is going to be, she's a cradle Catholic. This is going to be how it is. And my kids are going to be doing it. And I was like, as the man, I need to be like the spiritual leader of our household. And there's no way that I can do anything other than what they're doing. And so I totally just gave myself to it, plugged myself into that. Went to the classes for like 2 years and then, got baptized and all that shit. And as soon as I got baptized, wouldn't you fucking know it, like Lilith started coming in fucking so fucking heavy. She was like, no fucking way. This is not going to fucking happen, JD. Like, I am going to make everything so fucking crazy. I'm going to turn your whole life upside down because you're not listening to me. You're going the other way. And I didn't even know that there was another way, but I was kind of like, just being such a fucking sheep. I had given away my fucking own personal power to such a fucking degree. I had bent my knee to my ex-wife, to her whole family, to my whole family, to everybody in this world just to fucking make them happy. Not even knowing what I was doing. And it wasn't even making me happy. It was just like I wanted to make them happy, right? I wanted to
Yeah.
be like them so that I would be like, they'd be like, oh, yes, we love you, JD, because you're just like us. Like when, I'm fucking miserable and then my whole life starts getting turned upside down and they're just like, what the fuck? You're crazy. You're crazy. We're getting you on medication. We're taking you to the psychiatrist. Like
Yeah.
I went to the fucking church with my ex-wife to talk to the bishop that married us. And I'm like, yo, dude, I'm fucking possessed by something and it's scaring the shit out of me. And he just looked at me like, mm-hmm. Are you sure there's not like some chemicals in your warehouse or something that might have blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, no, dude, I'm fucking telling you, motherfucker. Like they wouldn't know a goddamn spiritual possession if it smacked them in the fucking face. I
Oh,
really fucking was. And I went to them to try to get help and they were just like, yeah, that's bullshit. That ain't real. That ain't real. Like, oh, it's not real. Then I guess what you're fucking doing, you're saying ain't real too, huh? You don't believe in what you're doing at all. You're just up there in your little motherfucking suit being like, like, what the fuck, man?
you mentioned authenticity, and how important that is, So they did this experiment. I forget what it's called, where they were trying to see like what the measuring the brain and everything. They're trying to basically see like what was the highest vibrational emotion that we
Oh,
have,
yeah, for sure.
and it wasn't love. It was authenticity.
Yep. Yeah, dude.
Authenticity trumps love. You know,
Yeah, for
and,
sure. I think you can
and
tell when people aren't being authentic. You can definitely tell, and it's very off-putting, because
when you look
they're
at
wearing a mask.
like podcasting and how everything's kind of shift to this global world with the internet, the internet hive mind can sniff out a phony so fast. Like they might get a little bit of a following, but the internet hive mind can just sniff out a phony. So like authenticity is almost becoming a form of currency now. You know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, people do love it and they're drawn to it. They can feel the vibration and they want more and more and more of it, and like it is so true. I mean, as sensitive as we are to energy being magicians, like there's really not much that anyone can really do to fool any of us. And when they're doing it, it's so fucking obvious. And it's like sad almost. It's like, do you really think I'm that dumb? Do you really think that I'm that stupid? Like you're actually insulting me right now by being how you're being and thinking that I'm buying it, like, but that's hard to say to someone, too. But
Yeah.
it's just where you have to kind of just slowly creep out and walk away and close the door on them.
Dude, learning how to read people, like knowing how to like look in someone's eyes, seeing their soul, knowing how to read them, knowing how to tell if someone's lying. Dude, that's like one of the most important skills, and no one has that discernment, man.
Yeah, yeah, not many people do, and like I've gotten so fucking good at it that it scares me, to be honest with you. It's so
Yeah.
automatic, it's so natural, and like I said, because of that, and the people that know me that may be trying to hide things, like they just don't even want to be around me. Like literally, like my energy will drive them fucking crazy to where they like literally just become unraveled and they don't know why, but they just can't, they got to get the fuck out. And they do get the fuck out and they go far fucking away. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. There's some people that are so bad at lying, I don't know how anyone falls for it, you know?
A lot of people do though, especially when you're fucking, like especially when you have like when they combine their sexual energy and allure with it, and little flirtatious ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Like you can, a man can let his guard down so fucking easily, and like I used to be one of those fucking dumbasses that would fall for that shit. But like now I'm just like, really? Really? Like, go do that to some of those stupid limp dick motherfuckers down the street that'll
Yeah.
give you whatever the fuck you want by your little fucking walking around, strutting your fucking tail feathers and batting your eyes and fucking flapping your lips. Like, no fucking way. Not here. Not me. Mm-mm. Fuck that. I don't care what they have or how good they look or what they can fucking do for me to make me happy. Fuck that shit. Never again, man. No fucking way.
Yeah. Yeah, buyer beware, dude. You know? Like
Yeah, you gotta really be careful nowadays, man. Like because just as that what I was just talking about is a craft in and of its own, and there are people that have mastered that fucking craft. They have mastered that shit, boy, and they are fucking good at it. A lot of them have been doing it their whole fucking life, and it's just like, whoa, like that's a dangerous person right there, bro.
oh yeah. And they're,
For real.
like they're not the majority, but they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And especially like I've noticed too, when you do have a high vibration like that, it's those kind of people that are attracted to you like moths to a flame and they want it and they feed off of it like a vampire. And like they literally will the whole very reason why they are attracted to you initially, they will try to fucking destroy. They will use that same fucking notion of what attracts them to you so much, and they know that they don't have that within themselves. So they like, even though they create it, they want to try to fucking kill it. And it's like it's so strange. And like I've experienced this so many times that like I am just like, what the actual fuck? Like what the fuck? And like not to sound like not to sound conceited, but it's just like, goddamn, if your energy is too good, if your energy is that good, you better expect that like the wolves are going to come out from everywhere trying to fucking lick and bite you and nibble on you. And
Yeah.
eventually, if you let them get close enough, they're going to start devouring and eating your ass. For
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta keep your
Yep.
circle tight. I mean, that is a thing. I used
Nope.
to have a huge circle, because I was like always playing in metal bands, and I was hustling, too. I was
Yep.
a full time, used to grow and stuff, and yeah, had a huge circle, and now I keep it so tight. But also, not drinking kind of helped that. I quit drinking, so
Dude,
yeah,
that's the best thing that I've ever done for myself, man. I mean, really and truly, like, I did not realize how caught up I was in that and how it had literally taken myself away from myself to the point to where I did lose that discernment. And I almost would like willingly just give myself up to these wolves. and would really like literally give them any fucking thing that they wanted just so that they would be happy and not like try to eat me. Like I would just try to keep them placated and just be like, I'm just going to be over here drunk, whatever, whatever. Just do your thing. Go do it with, like, I'll watch you do it with other people too. And that's sad. That's weird. That's crazy. Like, whoa, I see you do it to this person and that person and that person, but no, you wouldn't do that to me. But like, no, they're doing it to you the whole time too, But when you're all fucked up, you just don't even see it.
Oh yeah, dude, and nothing lets your guard down more than alcohol, dude. Nothing,
It's why, especially when you're a practitioner, man. Like I can't stress
Yeah.
enough that people that work with spirits, like you really cannot be drinking hard liquor unless you want to get taken over and do things that you are going to fucking regret, or it's going to let you be so wide open that you are going to be so vulnerable and not even realize it. It will destroy your life in every way. And if you're not respecting yourself, these demons will not respect you and they will take away all of your power. They will. You will have nothing. Because if you think you're nothing, if you're treating yourself like nothing, they're going to show you just how nothing you fucking are. Like, really.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of people get destroyed by magic. God, like a lot of my friends, like real early on, that really got into the dark stuff right away. A couple of those guys died really young. Like 25, 26. You know,
Damn.
and
From like weird freak things and shit, or
yeah,
just by.
yeah, and it was one of those things where I mean, they didn't do themselves any favors by like drinking and doing drugs and stuff. That definitely caused them to kind of allow it to happen. But yeah, but later on, because I used to kind of have the superstition against black magic for that because I saw this happen a few times, and I was like, well, that's a pattern that seems to keep happening. Uh,
Mhm.
but then like later on, I realized, especially when I would later like hear gossip and the backstory to stuff, and that a lot of them just got into a magical war. Someone put a curse on them, and they didn't do anything about it, or not a good enough job, I guess. And yeah,
Or not even aware enough to even know.
yeah, because if you're like a metalhead and you're like drinking alcohol and doing drugs and smoking heroin and shit, like,
Mhm.
you're gonna make some mistakes and it's not gonna work out for you. It's
Right.
just too easy when you have that many weaknesses.
But
You know?
but I tell you though, if you do those things like that, like in my own story and Kora's story, Behemoth X's story, if you're able to go down into those depths and you're dealing with that addiction and it's just about to fucking take you away from this place, but somehow, some way, you're able to keep pushing forward, with that. The only way out is through, and you get to the other side, like you like become like fucking Rocky Balboa. Like they will lift you up and exalt you to be like, fuck yeah, dude, you fucking got through the darkness. You went through fucking hell and you came out on the other side because you're fucking worth it and you knew deep down that you were. And now the party's going to start. Now you can work with us and we are going to give you so much power. We are going to be your ally to the nth degree. You're going to get downloads. You are going to be a living vessel. We are going to bless you, like, so, like if you find yourself in that point in your life, like really try to dig deeply and have that willingness to change. And if you fucking do it, you will be rewarded for it, man. Like fucking 100-fold rewarded for it. Like for
Yeah,
real.
yeah. I think some people just have more heart than others too.
Yeah,
And
yep. You
I
have to
think
have that willingness, man. You got to have that willingness.
yeah,
And, I think that, like, if they know that these demons, if they know deep down that you have no fucking intention and no will to fucking change, I think they will just walk the fuck away from you. But if they know that you do have that inside of you, they will literally sit right there with you and go through all of that shit with you, knowing that, like, he's going to wake up soon. He's going to get it soon. We
yeah,
can't do anything because he's basically binded our power in his life, but we're still going to sit here with him and we're going to kind of silently cheer him on and kind of like, we're here, man. And when that moment occurs, we're going to be here to fucking just fucking surround you and fucking like just infuse your aura and give you that fucking like that energy, that loving energy and like of acceptance and fucking like overcoming And like that is such a fucking inspiration. And like when I see other people do that, man, I'm like, dude, there's nothing that makes me happier. There's nothing that makes me more proud of people when I see them go through actual fucking hell and they're strong enough to fucking get through that shit and make the tough fucking changes and
Yeah.
literally become and be transformed by these fucking demons because they deserved it and they were worthy. They proved themselves fucking worthy. And that is like, God damn, like there is nothing better to me. I fucking get off on that so fucking hard, dude. I love it. I do love it. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Adversity is important, man. You got to
It
go
sure is.
through. You know, that's what this
And
place.
pain is too, man. I have done the most transformation through like the biggest betrayal in my life, literally like changed my fucking life and my path forever. And I thought it was going to destroy me, and it almost did. But like, holy shit, it was the biggest fucking gift I could have ever been given. And like, I'm actually happy about it now. And I'm like, fuck, like, thank you. Holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
bring the fucking pain, baby. God damn, if that's what it's gonna fucking, that's what it's gonna do. Fuck yeah, I'll go through it. Fuck yeah, I'll do it again. I'll do it again and again. Like, give it to me. Like, fuck yeah. And that sounds a little weird, but like, man, you like, there is nothing more transformative than fucking pain, boy. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important.
It really
Uh,
is.
uh, how long have you not been drinking now? Has it been like a whole month yet?
Yeah, it's been a month. It was a month. Well, no, it's going to be a month on the next Friday. And
Okay.
like literally, like man, I've been able to give it to spirits, and not even, dude. I don't even think about it. There's no way. I'm not touching another drug. I'm not touching another drink. I smoke a lot of cigarettes and I drink a lot of coffee. But I'll deal with that soon. But man, as long as I'm not doing the things that I was doing, and I can tell you, man, I mean. I was taking a little bit of Suboxone every day. I was fucking drinking a lot of alcohol. I was smoking weed constantly all day, every day, smoking wax dab all the fucking time, every day, fucking doing fucking acid, eating fucking mushrooms, doing quite a bit of fucking DMT. I was fucking blasting my fucking brain and emotions out, Jack, bad. And like, I had lost myself so motherfucking bad that like now I feel so fucking good having myself back that there's no fucking way I would ever consider that ever again under any circumstance. And, I've had bad days since then. Of course, I've had bad days. But even in the worst of those fucking days, I have never considered going back to that. There is no way. I know now that these demons they will kill me. They will kill me. They'll spit on me. They'll fucking trample my ass if I fucking treat myself like that ever a fucking again.
Oh yeah.
Straight up.
Have you thought about maybe doing a cleanse?
Oh yeah, I've been doing a lot of cleansing. That's really been helping. I've been purging like constantly all the fucking time. Like I've had so much toxins just continuously coming out of me.
Yeah.
Like it has really been an eye-opening experience. But I know that the demons that I work with, they have my back to such a degree that they are literally rewarding me and blessing me so abundantly every fucking day that I stick to this is a fucking like it's like Christmas every fucking day. I've got so many good things coming into my life. They're influxing my life with so much fucking positivity and showing me gratitude for honoring myself that like how could I ever fucking do anything different? There's no fucking way that I could. For me it's like I would always try to quit drinking and then I'd be like I can have a beer. I can do that, right? I can have one beer when I want to, and no, I'm not that kind of person. I can't handle it. I will
Yeah.
go right back.
Yeah, that's the thing with drinking, dude. It's too easy to do it every day. Because that's
Yeah.
like the one thing everyone agrees on. And if you are working like a hard job or just working, like a 10-hour day, you
Yep.
know, 2 or 3 ice cold beers, and it feels like you didn't even work that day. Just
Dude,
shake.
that was my highlight of my day. I could not
Yeah.
wait. I was loving it, like I was like, yes, like there's nothing more that I look forward to. And I had to go get one as soon as we got off. I would fucking be leaving the job. I'm like hitting the first fucking store and I'm like, yeah, and like I'm just like, fuck, like that was pretty fucking sad. That was
Oh yeah.
sad, man.
Yeah, in Washington, there's like a whole hobby to it too, because we have so many craft beers and microbrews, and
Mhm.
we got Washington basically has like the best beer, the best weed, the best coffee, even the best drinking water because it rains all the time. Like it
Oh
has
wow.
thing in the whole country. If you're an excessive person, Washington's a good place for you.
Yeah, it
Because there's not
seems to
like a
be.
stigma to it. There's no stigma to it.
Did
So
they like legalize everything there or something? Or just
not
in
really.
Seattle or somewhere
Uh,
like that?
they, no one cares about psychedelics anymore. People are making and selling mushroom candy bars and just selling them, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's stores don't sell those, but yeah, that kind of stuff isn't a big deal. Oregon, like Portland and stuff, they decriminalized everything for a little while, and it didn't really work out for them, I don't think. And I think they're starting to regulate it a little bit. And I mean, it's a problem. Like, I don't think like an empty bag of coke should be a felony. I don't even think felonies should ruin your life the way they do. Like people deserve a second chance at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
So I get that you don't
Definitely.
make these people's lives harder, but just enabling them isn't helping either. Like that's the thing.
Mhm.
If there's a problem, you have to fix it, and it just sucks that there's like no good way to fix the problem without ruining people's lives. You
For
know?
sure. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And like I don't have a problem with weed. I don't. It's just for me personally, when I'm doing it, I'm just doing it. And I'm doing it all the
Yeah,
fucking time. And I can't control myself when it comes to those kinds of things. Like if I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And I'm
yeah,
gonna have a lot and I'm gonna do it all the time. And it's not gonna be a moment that doesn't go by that I am not getting high. And like for me, that was just too much. So
yeah,
I just, maybe there'll come a day down the road someday, but I'm not even going to think like that. Like I really just need to like have boundaries with that shit and with a lot of other things in life too, and I need to stand firm in them and like I'm not judging anybody else that does like at all. Like that's your thing, that's fucking cool. You're able to handle it in a way that I can't. And I am not, my ego's not that big to where I can't admit that. Like I have a problem. And so I just can't I can't. I just can't. But I can still have just as
yeah,
much fun and fucking like everything else. Like the demons have given me, they've replaced that for me with just like this sense of joy and peace that, I fucking will do my best to continue to cultivate. I'll do everything in my power to continue to cultivate that. And I'm very early on in that journey. So I know a lot of people are probably like, you don't even fucking know anything, dude. You're like, it's going to fucking get you. I'm like, no, I'm not going to let it get me. I'm not. And everyone here will know the moment that happens. And I am not going to fucking do it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
really, I'm just not.
yeah. Yeah, it's good to be sober, at least some of the time. I didn't drink for 11 years. I quit drinking 11 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. That
Holy
was
fuck.
yeah. And like it never ruined my life or anything. I never got a DUI, which is funny because I drink and drive all the time.
Me too, every day, brother.
Yeah.
Every day I was, man.
People be like, "Are you okay to drive?" Oh yeah, I got a 6-pack in the car to keep my buzz going. Thanks though.
All right. Yeah. As long as we got that, we're good. Yeah. I mean, I was just waiting for the day because that's how I was living my life. And I was waiting for that day. I was like, God damn, if I just so happen to get pulled, I'm fucked. And like, I actually had my succubus get me out of a fucking DUI once. They had me out of the fucking car, patting me down. I had my arms out like this. And they both, and I know I reeked. She glamored the shit out of them, and no shit, they backed up from me. They looked at me like this, and they both shook my hand and fucking left. And I'm standing there being like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like, oh my god, holy shit! And then like she told me, like, "Yeah, I took care of that," and I'm like, "Damn, damn,
Awesome.
yeah,
Another
oh
thing with
yeah."
magic and spirits, man. Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. It's awesome. But we're coming up on an hour and 16 minutes, and I've got to pee like a racehorse.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. I've been
I
drinking
want to thank you
water.
for fucking being on here with me, dude, and we'll do it again soon for sure. I had a ball.
Oh yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and like I said, I think this summer I'm going to be in your neck of the woods. You know,
Cool. Hit me up. I'll be around for sure. For sure. I mean, I
yeah,
don't really travel too much. I mean, I've got some travel plans coming up here in March. And I'll be going here and there periodically, but only for like a few days at a time. So I'm usually around, man. And, you know, my schedule is usually pretty flexible and open. So I would love to fucking see you. That'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be fun, man. It'll be
Hell yeah, dude.
uh, like right near Shinkatig.
Cool. Hell yeah. That's a beautiful place. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
dude. That's just a few hours from me. So
East corner, yeah.
cool, man. I will look forward to it.
So anyway, yeah. All right.
I've got Byron's information in the description, y'all. His Instagram is in the description. His other information, how you can contact him, is in the description. So if you want to link up with Byron there, check that out. I also have information on the full moon blood eclipse ritual coming up on March 13th with Lilith Azazel and the planetary energies of Saturn. Fucking sign up for that fucking soon. This is going to be transformative. It's going to be amazing. I know that you've got a love ritual with El the Alchemist coming up on the 28th, right? This next Friday.
Yes. El and I are doing one. He's doing a few love things, and I'm doing a Papa Leg road opener.
Oh, nice.
And I got everything programming right now. I got everything finely tuned. So everyone that signs up is also going to get an individual candle programmed for it. So it'll be popping.
Where do they go to sign up for that?
jsgarrett.net.
Cool. Hell yeah. And everybody's familiar with him, you know, and that website. So definitely go there, guys, and sign up for that love ritual. You know, I know, and the road opener, like that's going to be that's a powerful alignment on the 28th. And so take advantage of that energy, you know, get what you want and get what you need. You know, sometimes like other practitioners helping you out is a very powerful thing. I'm living proof of that, you know, so hell yeah.
And it's, you know, even with myself, you know, like there's times where I do magic for myself and I get great results, but then there's times where I'll do like the same thing to someone else, and it's just like, wow.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No doubt. And I experience that when other people do things for me too. And it like literally blows my mind. I'm just like, holy shit, like jaw dropped, like fuck, you know? So yeah, it's very real. It's very powerful. Everything that we're doing, I mean, you know, all of us are tapped in like a son of a bitch, and we put in the time, the effort, and the commitment. And you know, we fucking deserve it. And I love to be able to pass that energy on, that transformative energy on to other people, to really show them what's possible. And that only uplifts them and shows them what they're able to do in their own life too. So, you know, it's a win-win for everybody, really and truly. You know, we're all in this thing together. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, man. When I worked at the bar, I loved working miracles for people, man. That, you know, that was just like
better.
Made my day. And it's funny too, because you get so used to it, you just kind of, you know, and then they come back, dude, it happened just like you said. This happened, just like you said. I got it. It totally worked.
And you're like,
Like that's cool, man.
Like,
I appreciated that, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Like you get so used to it, you forget what it's like for other people, you know.
Oh, for sure. No doubt. No doubt. And I mean, I still get wild like that, you know, and
every once in a while,
it's just like, damn.
That just happened.
No shit, for sure. Well, thank you again for being here, brother. Man. And we love everybody in the chat. I see you all, and I fucking love you. And I would address even every single one of you personally like I normally do, but I've really got to pee. And so I love you guys. I will see you all soon. There's a new video coming out at 11:11 tomorrow morning. It's a Lucifer channel message from Lucifer. You don't want to fucking miss that. So be on the lookout for that too. And I'll see you soon. I see you, Astara, and Roses and Rot and Grace. I see you all. Hell yeah. And thank you again. And we'll see you soon. And thank you, Byron.
Yeah, man. You take care, dude.
You too, brother. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
You know it.